I have to tell you, on my side of the family, my grandfather was an Italian immigrant, and he was very proud to be an American. So when it happened, my father, may his soul rest in peace, said to my grandfather, my father was a wise man, he said, Pop, he said, don't turn this gold in. And my grandfather did, because he wanted to be patriotic.
And again, you want to be patriotic, but it's criminal offshore banks. They're not America. Just because they hijacked America doesn't mean they have the real authority. They're illegitimate, and it's us or them, Gerald. Gerald, I want to run through a few other items before you leave us, but please, because it's such invaluable information, tell us about your Trends Journal, how folks subscribe. Tell people about your great websites.
TrendsJournal.com, TrendsJournal.com. And you don't only get the Trends Journal. We have great features. I do Trends in the News features twice a week to keep you up to date. We have Patrick Carlin, George Carlin's wiser and older brother. George Carlin, right, his wiser and older brother, we used to call him. And he does the lighter side of Trends. And we have a new feature. It's a riot. Hans Himmler, America's favorite Nazi. He escaped Germany. He hid in Argentina, and now he's come to America because he feels at home here. So we're really making fun of the fascist state America's turning into. And also, for everyone listening, we know how difficult times are, and we have a discount request page. Just go to the page, just fill out the information, and we try to make the Trends Journal available to everyone, because we want to prepare people for what's coming ahead. And everyone that subscribes, and I'm not bragging about this, but every day we get letters thanking us for, number one, waking them up, and also, and this is what I love the best, about inspiring them to grab your future. The future's in your hands. If you don't design your future, someone else is going to do it for you, and you're not going to like it. And you know who those someones are? They're the TSA, the FBI, the CIA, the FDA. You go right down the list, the GOP, the Democrats. Every one of these cats is standing online telling you to stand up straight and bend over.
Exactly. That's what's so sick about a Nazi Germany or a Soviet Russia, is when you study the history, and those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it, as you know, Gerald, is that it turns loose every miscreant who couldn't even be a garbage man, who couldn't be somebody working at McDonald's, these petty, dumbed-down control freaks who suddenly rule over all of us. We've got to defeat them. Now, here in closing, I want to raise to the Infowars.com viewing audience and folks watching at PrisonPlanet.com and across cyberspace right now, I want to raise a few other news items. It has now come out in federal court, and I covered before you came on the federal documents that have now been entered into court, and even the El Paso Times is covering it, that the ATF is shipping guns in to drug cartels to knock out their competition. It's not just to demonize the Second Amendment back at home, and that Los Zetas and other kingpins are also allowed to bring cocaine into America and are left alone. What is your view on government and big bank narcotics trafficking? Earlier I covered, of course, that Wachovia and Wells Fargo paid $160 million fine on $370+ billion in narcotics money in the last 2 years. It's a $500 billion industry. Who believes in the world that the government and the banks aren't involved in $500 billion? I'll tell you, if you'll believe that, I got a bridge I'll sell you.
People ask me about putting money in Panama. That's the last place I would stick it. And look at all the money. I mean, everybody knows the game. This whole war on drugs is a sham. And remember those stories when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas and the CIA planes?
Yeah, Mina.
Yeah. They're out of the news. People forgot about those things. No, there's nothing that the government says that I would trust. And look at the criminal activities that they're caught in. How about this one? Is that such a far-fetched idea when you consider the murderous acts that the American government is committing every day with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Oh, and by the way, the nomenclature's changed, Alex.
Oh.
American soldiers don't get killed anymore. You know who gets killed? NATO troops.
Ah. Incredible.
So they're murderers. It's mass murder. But you can't call them mass murderer because, hey, they're the Harvard, Princeton, Yale Club.
Well, Gerald, what do you make of now? It used to be every 6 months. Now it's every week and almost every day. Amish selling eggs, people selling pumpkins or strawberries on the side of the road. I mean, I've had family does that, selling peaches out of orchards. We used to have orchards till a blight hit them a decade ago and killed them. I see reports of stores have been open many years selling papayas and organic watermelons and organic cheese, and they have more than 100 police raid them, fed, local, you name it, and then they give them a $120,000 bond, charge them with conspiracy for running a public local grocery store in Los Angeles. I mean, sometimes, even though I think I'm awake, it's like the Twilight Zone. And then I saw the videos that Mike Adams released of this happening. He's joining us next. And the police look like central casting criminals. I mean, they look slimy and sneaky and bullyish and evil. And it was like, my God, have the criminals totally taken over. When banks can steal trillions and launder hundreds of billions in drug money, but parents in Chicago can't pack their kids a school lunch because they say we can't trust parents. That's a quote. And you can't grow a garden in your front yard in places like Michigan. I mean, it's like at a certain point, when does it end? And then you realize we ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to get even crazier. Not land of the free, home of the brave, land of the cowards, home of the slave, Gerald.
You got it. How you forgot those 3 little girls down in Georgia that was selling lemonade that got busted.
Oh, all over the country they can't have it, yeah.
Yeah. You know, they were saving money to go to a water park. I was thinking, yeah, they should have gone to Dick Cheney's waterboard park, you know? Maybe that's the next step. No, this is why we have Hans Himmler, America's favorite Nazi. This is pure fascist behavior. Again, people rail about Obama being a socialist and a Marxist. Socialism is egalitarianism. This is fascism, the merger of state and corporate powers. What they're doing is they're busting all of the entrepreneurs as the greedy bigs take more and more control. Name the industry, Alex. Agriculture, handful control it. Broadcasting, handful control it. Automobiles, handful control it. Food processing, handful control it. Name any industry, any one. Cereals, soda.
And they're greedy. They're even destroying their own market to consolidate power more and more and more. And there's one thing I know our founders were against, and something our country wouldn't put up with, is monopolies. And Gerald, do you think that the bigs have bit off more than they could chew, and that when the history books are written after this hell that's coming, that we are going to finally defeat these monopoly men?
We will only defeat. They haven't bitten off more than they can chew, because after they finish chewing it up and spitting it out, they just go somewhere else to chew. They're like a tapeworm that is never satisfied.
Or locust.
So that's, locust, very good. So no, until the people, again, regain their dignity, respect, and courage, and self-respect, for others, respect for others and self-respect, it's not going to change, which is one of the things we're talking about that you alluded to, direct democracy. And I'm saying let the people vote. We do not have a representative form of government. The only people that Bonner, Bush, Obama, Reid, Pelosi, McConnell, you go through the list up and down, sideways, the only people they represent are the people that give them money.
You're absolutely right, Gerald Celente. And it's like asking...
rich and the special interests. Only a little kid would believe that these people represent us.
So bottom line, it's our naivete and our lack of action and being in a comatose state that empowers it. Gerald, we look forward to continue to interview you as you track the trends. Gerald Celente from the Trends Research Institute, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you so much for what you're doing to wake folks up. All right, my friends, that's Gerald Celente. We appreciate you watching this Infowars.com special report. We're going to go to break and come back with Mike Adams on the front line of defending your right to eat organic food and to have access to vitamins and minerals, something that the globalist Nazis that run this country do not want you to have access to. They've been attacking and raiding farms that produce fresh milk, people that sell cheese and even mangoes and watermelons. That'll get you a $120,000 bond and a charge of conspiracy. If you want to ship cocaine in for the government, that's fine. But don't provide the public with mangoes, papayas, or strawberries. We'll be right back with Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, with breaking information. Stay with us.
Infowars.com for 16 years has led the charge against the technocrats. We have had unrivaled success in unlocking minds, expanding paradigms, and rallying the people to face the New World Order. No one can deny that our media operation is the tip of the spear, and it's because of our success that we have a responsibility to intensify our operations against the globalists 110%. We're only a month away from launching a weeknight news broadcast. The social network is nearing completion as well. The free newsletter is reaching hundreds of thousands. Please spread the word about Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Sign up at the top of Infowars.com for the free Infowars Insider email with exclusive video and text reports as well as breaking news. Look in the mirror. You are the resistance. It is up to us, the Info Warriors, to take the initiative and to defeat the globalist.
Thank you for joining us this evening, the 4th of August, 2011. And you have come to the last 10 minutes or so of this special Infowars.com nightly news report. I want to remind viewers that coming up on September 1st, that's a Thursday, we're going to start a transmission that will go out live at 7 p.m. Central every night. But we'll also begin adding multiple live special reports with in-depth interviews as well and other special documentaries here at PrisonPlanet.tv. And we're very excited. We've had a lot of different cable networks, not just here in the U.S., but worldwide, request this show in the last few years. And so that's why we've developed it here. And I want to thank you for joining us. We just got done talking to Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster, in detail about the designed implosion and depression that has been created to bring the American people to their knees, the private banking cartel. We also covered the incredible news in federal court coming out dealing with the fact that not only has the ATF, FBI, DEA been shipping guns to Mexico, Miami, Honduras, Latin America to knock out their drug dealing competition, but that cocaine has also been shipped into the U.S. with the U.S. government's knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, this corruption is coming to the surface. They're admittedly growing opium in Afghanistan and admitting it. What's coming next? The reason they're having to admit all of this is because the alternative media has been exposing it. So we've had some great victories. They're going from denying it to trying to hide it in plain view and hoping that you're just conditioned to accept it, that they're going to put you in prison or your son or daughter in prison if they're caught with drugs that they're shipping in. Decriminalization, legalization is the answer. Treat it as the disease it is. Don't send Rush Limbaugh to prison for using synthetic heroin. Give him treatment. And don't send some young street kid who's 16 caught with heroin to prison. Give them treatment as well. Let's not be hypocrites. Now, joining us in studio live is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger of naturalnews.com. And, of course, he broke with us yesterday on the radio, and the Drudge Report also carried it. It's a big national story. The latest in SWAT team raids on Amish, people selling eggs on the side of the road or tomatoes. Feds, local, state, all raiding and destroying papayas and evil stuff like watermelons. I know we're defending watermelons now. We're very evil. Raw milk. This is a public club. We have them here in Austin. They sell the stuff at Whole Foods, the raw milk cheese, and they're setting a very dangerous precedent here. They're declaring war on the alternative economies that are forming as people demand healthy and clean, non-irradiated, non-GMO, non-antibiotic, growth hormone garbage. And the man who is